now joined by Gareth Daniels. Thank you very much for joining us today, Gaz. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, no problem at all, mate. Yeah, really good, thank you.
Fantastic. Been keeping well? All the family okay?
Yeah, all good, thanks, mate. Yeah.
Great stuff. Fantastic. So if you just start by introducing yourself a little bit and saying a bit about what you do at the club, what your role is.
Yeah, so obviously I'm Gareth Daniels. I look after the retail and ticketing side of everything at the football club.
Fantastic stuff. That's brilliant. So obviously for those that don't know, I come down to the club shop quite often. That's where my good friend Gaz spends most of his time in there. So I come down and bother him quite a lot down there. But yeah, so he deals with obviously all of our kit and all things like that. So yeah, if you just sort of tell us a little bit about what obviously what that entails and what you do on a day-to-day basis, really, if that's all right.
Yeah, so obviously two sides to it. So the retail side of it and the ticketing side of it. So both are sort of up and down in terms of how busy we are and how things are going. Obviously, a match day, it's like both things in a normal time are crazy. So with lots of people in the shop, lots of people coming to the game, lots of tickets being sold. But on a day-to-day basis, it's more just, packing up orders when we get in the morning, making sure everything's set online, the pictures are looking good, the stock's correct in terms of the shop side. And ticketing, we're getting matches ready on the system, we're selling tickets, taking phone calls and queries and answering emails.
Fantastic. So straight away, obviously, everyone, you can see what an important job that is and how much responsibility there is there. That's absolutely fantastic. I think probably people don't realise quite how much goes on behind the scenes in terms of ticketing and that kind of thing. And I suppose in the current scenario, that's quite complicated.
Yeah, it's been a pretty crazy time. Obviously, as you know, we've had fans back and then not back and restrictions changing. So before Christmas, when we had a lot of games and we were allowed to have 2,000 fans, the ticketing side was quite complex because with the social distancing, we have to make sure that there's sufficient room between people in the seats. So setting up a game and administering that game, it was quite a task, as opposed to normally when we don't really ever sell out. We've got our set amount of season ticket holders, we can just sort of sell tickets. But capping it at 2,000 and making sure the distancing and all the other protocols are met was quite a task, on top of being Christmas and having a really busy online shop, which has gone really well up to Christmas, packing up orders. So yeah, it was a pretty manic period just before Christmas, but that's what we like, and that's what it's all about, having fans at the games and getting the buzz. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it's been good.
Absolutely brilliant. No, fantastic. I think, like you say there as well, obviously it was really great to be chosen one of the pilot clubs to be allowed to have some fans back in, obviously, before it all went sideways again. But yeah, it's amazing. But obviously privilege, but also a lot of work, I can imagine, as well. So yeah, fantastic. Okay, if you just give me a little bit of an outline of what your football journey looks like. So obviously, is this something you want to do? Have you sort of fallen into it, or how's it?
I guess I've kind of fallen into it. I've loved football all my life. From Cambridge, I watched Cambridge as a kid. Played a bit of football, not great, tried my best. Really, I did a few sort of jobs. I worked in a bank for a bit. Then I went into sort of coaching and working with kids. And I then had an opportunity to work for Cambridge United in the youth development side. So your area, when I was young. So that's about nine years ago now. So I've been here a long time. And what I did was a bit of coaching and a bit of administering the online side of things. There wasn't really a system, a booking system, anything really online. So I sort of got involved, started doing that. And really the club was, off the pitch, the club was really small. So this is conference days. There wasn't many staff. So really, I guess I just got involved with as much as I could and found I was really enjoying it. Like I said, I've always loved football. I've never really known what I wanted to do. I realised at about 14 I wasn't going to be good enough to ever play football for a job. So, just sort of fell into it a little bit. But like I said, got involved in whatever I could, helped out where I could, offered solutions to things that I thought might help. And yeah, that's how it kind of started.
Amazing. So obviously you touched on that, you've been with the club for a number of years, which is obviously fantastic and really interesting, I think, for the guys watching this to get an idea of obviously how much things have changed in the past maybe decade or so, obviously for yourself as a supporter as well. But yeah, so if you just sort of touch on maybe your favourite moment, obviously maybe play, maybe coach, or maybe during your time at the club. Obviously, it's been some good moments and some probably not so good moments as well, I imagine.
Yeah. I mean, I can't go past the playoff win at Wembley in 2014. That was so. I'd been here 2 or 3 years, and it'd been tough before. You know, in the conference, it's tough. We were sort of mid-table, lower mid-table. All of a sudden, this season, this 2013-14 season, when I was actually at that point, I was doing some media stuff for the club. So I was sort of looking after the website and the social media, alongside sort of doing bits and bobs. Yeah, that season was just incredible. Yeah, it was just brilliant. And getting promoted at Wembley Stadium in front of all those Hughes fans in the sun was just the best, one of the best days of my life. So, yeah, that definitely, that's the best moment of my time here. And since then, we've had some good ones, you know, Man United games, FA Cup games. But that I can, yeah, that will live in my memory forever, I should think.
Fantastic. I must say, I do completely agree. Obviously, for those of you that haven't worked out already, we are both Cambridge United supporters. So it's a big one for both of us, that one. I completely agree. Fantastic. So just on the next question I've got for you. So the best bit about your role, obviously, you said it's got 2 sort of areas, obviously dealing with ticketing.
Yeah.
Nice. What sort of part of your job do you sit in the morning, looking forward to doing this? Or?
So I really love match days. So normal match days, you know, so you think Saturday, I'm going to work, but I can't wait to go because we're going to be busy from 9-10 o'clock in the morning all the way through to kickoff. We're going to see people that we know and recognise and chat. And I guess the match day buzz around the ground is what we work for and live for week in, week out. That's a big part. So I guess everything's geared to that as well, especially on the ticketing side. You know, we're getting ready for the Saturday home game and then it's on to the next. So really enjoy the match days. And also, yeah, you know, like I said, look after the retail side. So having a hand in getting new products in, helping design new kits and things like that. So that's a big part that I enjoy too.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, no, I completely agree. Match day's fantastic. So basically, the next question I've got for you, touching it there, is what is it like getting to design kits? So obviously, for those that don't know, obviously Gaz has a massive part in designing, especially the new Hummel kits, the new Hummel range we've had. We've had probably 4 of the best kits in the country. I'm saying that over the past couple of seasons. So what is it like getting to design a kit?
Yeah, it's really good fun. It's something, again, I'm a bit of a football shirt geek, so I like my football kits. I always have. And again, something I'm passionate about. So getting involved with that, it's good fun, you know, bouncing ideas around. We take ideas from lots of different people. And then we work really closely with the kit manufacturer, whether it be Puma a few years ago or Hummel now, and just bounce ideas. And they've got some great guys who do some great designs for us. You know, we sort of lead them and they come back with ideas, you know, and we choose them basically. But yeah, we like, at the moment, I'm very kind to say that the last 4 kits have been the best. But yeah, it's good fun. It's good fun.
That's brilliant. So what does that process look like? So do you do a drawing or do you write down some ideas? And how does that look?
So yeah, what I'll do is, it's funny how far ahead we have to work. So we're pretty much done for next season now. Normally before Christmas, we're done. Everything's ready to be made. So yeah, we'll be thinking about what we want to do next. Have a look around at other clubs or old kits. I'll jot the ideas down, maybe have some photos of other things that I like, and I'll kind of go, I'll write it down as detailed as I can, and I sort of go, there you go, Hummel, can you come up with something based on what I've given you and what I've sent? They'll come back to so back and forth. I'll go, yeah, love that or love that. Then we'll get the process of getting it agreed at our end. So I speak to the other members of staff here. And then ultimately the chief executive and the board of directors will sign off that. We'll then get a sample sent through of all our kits, basically to give it a big tick or a big red cross, and any little amendments that we want. And then it goes into production. Yeah.
That's fascinating. I always think, like, when you're at school, it's always one of those things where you love designing kits. So obviously it must be amazing. Obviously you mentioned that we're nearly done for next season. How hard is it to keep that a secret, obviously, for 9 months?
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, because a lot of people are kit geeks and love their football kits, and it's a talking point. And it always is. So it can be quite difficult. So we only show it. There's a few guys at the club that we bounce it off, and then obviously the directors, the sponsors obviously have to see it. But I think in the last few years, we've done really well at keeping things under wraps. Other than I think it was a couple of years ago, George Taft decided to go Instagram Live or something and showed the whole rail of all the new training range and new kits. So we had to quickly get him to delete it. But it can be tough. But I think the less people you speak to about it and the less people you show, obviously the less chance you have of it getting leaked.
Absolutely. So no sneak peeks on here. Don't worry. I won't ask you. Fantastic. So just on to the last few questions then. So, how do you come up with new ideas for merchandise? Is there something you do for inspiration? Are you like Da Vinci? Do you go and look at some paintings or something?
So we've got a few good suppliers that we've worked with for a number of years. So often they'll come to us with things they think would work for us, that, you know, they know what we need and our quantities and things like that. So say, look, we're doing this for another club. Would you be interested in something like this? Often we do it that way. And sometimes, I'll look elsewhere. I'll look at other clubs. You know, if I go to other games, I'll often pop in the shop and have a look what they've got. But online, you can find everything, can't you? So I wouldn't say copying, but taking ideas from elsewhere. And I think you have to. I think that's all you really can do. You know, we were one of the first clubs to get face masks out, and they've sold really well. As an example, that was one thing we jumped on straight away. And designing those as well is fun because, again, you know, we design things with our colours, with our crest.
Oh, brilliant. So almost giving the people what they want, sort of.
Yeah, and of course we take things on board, and people. But I'd like to think we've kind of got something for everyone. Obviously, other than football kits, you know, we've got pet stuff, we've got ladies' items, we've got gifts. So I like to think we don't have too much, but we've got enough of everything that would, if someone came to the shop, they'd have something they would want to buy.
Absolutely. No, it's, I think it's really interesting to hear. I've just on that then, what would you say the best and the worst kit or item you've ever done? Really hard question that I know, but I'm really interested to see your answer.
That's all right. Yeah, no. Well, there's one kit that I really enjoyed producing. So in the start just after lockdown, so April, May, first time round, we released a retro shirt. So based on our 1991 to 93 shirt that Dion Dublin, Steve Claridge, players like that wore when we were really successful and nearly reached the Premier League. So it was the retro Fujitsu type shirt, which it was a long process because we wanted to get it as perfect as possible and as identical to the original as possible. So that took about 2 years to make and get spot on. And that sold out, I think, within about 7 hours. So that was really fun to make because, we did lots of throwback to those times with old highlights from those games. So that was really good. And that was my favourite and that sold well. So that was a win all round. And then, probably the worst. I had this idea. I was watching rugby, I think, on the telly, and they had those inflatable sticks that you bang together. They're called bang bang sticks. So I thought, you know what? So I approached one of our suppliers. Said, "Yeah, we do those. Yeah, we do them for rugby." I said, "Oh, great, that's where I've seen them." Anyway, long story short, we've sold about 3 in about 3 years. So if anyone wants any bang bang sticks, head online, help me out, and we can shift a few more.
There you go. Fantastic. Get a bit of get some of them out the door. Hopefully that.
Yeah.
So if you can, brilliant stuff. Now the other thing I wanted just to touch on before we finish is that so Gareth here is the man that does the kit that you play with on FIFA. So anyone that obviously plays FIFA, this is the man that produces those kits. So obviously a very famous gentleman we've got here. But let's say any of our viewers maybe want to go into producing kits or want to work in obviously your department or ticketing or anything like that. Is there any advice that you give or what would you say to them to think of doing?
I guess in terms of whatever you want to do, I think if you work hard, show you're enthusiastic and passionate about what you do, whatever it is, you'll be able to do it. Just always give your input, helping other people out. Just work hard at what you're passionate at, and you'll come through.
That's brilliant. I think that's absolutely it for me in terms of how I made my way in football as well. It's just by, like you say, working hard and trying to, like you say, help out people where you can. And, if there's an opportunity, someone going for it. Fantastic advice, I think. Brilliant. Well, I won't take any more of Gareth's time. I'm sure he's got some kits to produce for FIFA. So I'll let him go. But I'm sure you'll join me in saying a massive thank you to Gareth and really appreciate your time today.
No problem at all, mate. Thank you very much.
Amazing. Cheers. Speak to you soon, guys. All the best.